Welcome to the stream. I said I was going to do it. Second night in a row of reading Raging Loop. Reading Rainbow. Welcome to the stream. Happy Tuesday. Great. Honestly, very chill Monday and Tuesday for me. Cannot complain on that front. Quick recap of yesterday's reading of Raging Loop, and it's fresh on my mind because it was less than 24 hours ago, right? Nothing escapes this old noggin within 24 hours. We went on a little side quest as our main character to, again, not only, it was like, I keep bringing it up, but basically, our guy was like, all right, I need to be able to participate in the feasts, and also I'm gonna prevent the reporter and the photographer from dying. That is my next goal. He's got like, he's running the checklist, right? He's like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. I need to change up the variables, right? Because he experienced the horrors once. And he's like, I'm going to change as an experiment. He went against his science teacher's wishes and changed more than one variable at a time. That's what I remember my science teachers always telling me: when you're running an experiment, you only change one variable at a time so that you can note the differences. But he said, fuck that. I want to eliminate the amount of loops I'm doing. So I'm going to be a participant in the feast. I'm also going to save the people that are the first to die. Again, the reporter and the photographer. If we remember, in the first loop, they died because they went against the rules. They didn't house themselves or whatever. They didn't, like, clean themselves, get ready for the feast or whatever. You know, the rules where you just get eliminated. So what he did was essentially got them a place to stay by disabling their van, and then basically working to find them a free location, an open location, right? That's basically the thing. So basically we did a lot of that. We did a lot of talking with some of the other characters, and then basically the mist came back. We are starting the actual feast / ritual, whatever you want to call it, because the mist came for the night. He stayed at a place. He got the other people to stay at a place, and we basically towards the end got confirmation. We assumed, I assumed it was always going to be this case. It wouldn't make really much sense for not to do it, but our main character learned that the roles are not most likely going to stay the same they were in the first loop he experienced, because lo and behold, he wakes up and he was given a role. He was given the role of the Crow, I believe it was, which is the researcher. So once they choose to hang someone, again, the humans attempt at hanging the wolf, he will be able to determine if they hung the wolf in fact, or they killed one of their own, which is a great role. I made point to say that in the stream yesterday that that's probably the most interesting role that our main character could have, because it's the most, like, proactive, in the sense, I don't know if proactive is the right word, but basically it's the most, like, information gathering role that we get to then experience through the eyes of the main protagonist, right? Like, it's the most probably interesting one for us to experience, because we get to determine, oh, did they really fuck up? Did they really get him? He has a lot of sway, where you might see some internal conflict about, like, someone tells him to choose someone to or he doesn't get to choose, but he might, you know, I don't know, what if there's some weird thing where, like, he for some reason gets this role, but then he for some reason deems it beneficial to lie about the result, because there's always that possibility. That might be, again, that's a higher game level kind of thinking, but who knows what this game will throw at us. I'm hoping the best. But yeah, at the very least, we're gonna have to determine, or he'll have to determine, right, if he reveals his role to people. My assumption is he is not going to reveal his role, because I think he kind of, I think in the last loop, when he didn't get to participate, he criticized that one guy, the big guy, for revealing his role of being, for revealing his role in general, which was the snake, I believe. All these animals are combining in my head. And also, I'm not going to explain why, but earlier today, I was having to think about a lot of animals. And so now I have like just a bunch of animals like tumbling in my brain. And it's like, I'm thinking of like rabbits, I'm thinking of snakes, I'm thinking of just so many things. But I digress. So we basically, he's got given a role. We're basically, that's right, where we pick up here. We're going to pick up. We're going to see, I forget, if it's the first night, does someone potentially die this first night? I forget. I guess only people would die if they were breaking the rules, right? Was that what was said? Could be that no one dies because no one's broken the rule. I think that's the case. I believe that that's the case. So let's go. Oh, gotta howl every time we start up. I hope everyone watching at home. I hope when I howl, you howl in turn. When the game howls, I howl. When I howl, you howl. And if you haven't, go back to all the other previous streams. And every time the game goes, oh, and I go, oh, in return, then I want you at your monitor, at your screen, at your phone, whatever you're watching on, at your television, however the fuck you're watching me, you gotta howl. Ow. Even if it's half-hearted. You can go full out, or just as little effort as needed. I just want to know that you're doing it. Anyway, our guy here says, good morning. I walked through the mist as I called out. Over here, boy. This time, I had no problems meeting up with Kanzo-san. Did you check it?
Hi.
Yes. Well? My mind stopped for a second.
どうとは?
Well, what?
なんでもね、間違いだ。
Nothing. Don't mind it. He looked away. Was that a leading question just now? If there was something on my stomach, it meant I had a guardian. I was meant to be a newcomer who didn't know anything. Wasn't it unfair to ask me that? Wasn't it unfair to ask me that? Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. He shouldn't know. And he's trying to get the information out of him. If I'd actually said or even implied that there'd been something on my stomach, that would mean that I had a guardian. Or if I said there was nothing, that could be used against me further down the line, putting me at a disadvantage. If he was a wolf who knew the implications of his question, then again I felt he retracted his question because he knew it could lead to that kind of misunderstanding. Shit, I'd love to ask that, but I couldn't use knowledge I wasn't supposed to have.
牧島さんでしたよね。もう一通り回られたんです。
Makishima-san, right? Have you looked around yet? That seemed like a yes to me.
みんな無事そうですか?
Is everyone alright?
一人死んだ。
One's dead. Huh?
待ってください。一体何が起きてるのかさっぱり。
Wait, you completely lost me just now. What's going on?
騒ぐな。殺すぞ。
Stop making noise. I'll kill ya. I definitely have changed his voice because I don't remember what I was doing before he died in the first loop. So, I'm sorry. That's just sometimes bound to happen. Kill. Did he really just use that word so casually?
おとなしくせえ。わしはてめえを信じとらん。
Stay where you are. I don't trust you. He brandished his rifle again.
僕は何も知らない。何もしてない。
I don't know anything. I didn't do anything.
それは宴で決める。
We'll decide that at the feast. He sure was assertive. Maybe I didn't have a guardian this time. This made me realize I could tell friend from foe by searching for differences in their behavior from last time around. For now, though, I just had to make it through this awkward moment with Kanzo-san. Soon enough, we were joined by the others. Tai-san, Takumi-san, Kaori-san, Yoshitsugu-kun, the old wolf guy. Takumi-san and Kanzo-san then went to the Nosado mansion and the dorm, leaving me with just a woman, a child, and 2 elders. Sounds like a blast.
おっさん
Hey, old fart! I wasn't one of those old farts, damn it.
もしかして僕のことか？
You mean me?
他に誰がいいんだよ
Who else?
心外な。それでどうしたの？
Now that's just uncalled for. What is it anyway?
てめえなんか知らねえの
You know anything?
え、何かって？
Huh? Like what?
こんな時に休みぞ送りになったんだ自分だっておかしいと思うだろ
You got sent to Yasumisu and this happened. It's fucking weird, ain't it?
樋口のクソは何か言ってなかったのかよ
You talked to Higuchi, right? That asshole tell you anything?
いや、思いつかないね。
Nothing comes to mind. I played it off.
東京からの僕の不運は続いてるみたいだ。肌でわかるよ。尋常じゃない状況だって。まったく、イカれてるよ、この霧は。
Looks like the streak of bad luck I've had since Tokyo is still going on. I can sense the situation isn't normal. This mist is just crazy.
てめえが言うなイカレ野郎
Like you're one to talk. You're bad shit. He said that, but his tone wasn't as antagonistic as before. It actually felt somewhat friendly. I can only guess that my act from yesterday warmed him up to me. A bit, anyway.
吉次あんたはまた
Yoshitsugu, this again?
別に揉めてねえよつうか無理すんな顔真っ青じゃねえか
I ain't picking a fight this time. Stop pushing yourself. You're all pale.
すみません房石さんとにかくおとなしくなさい
I'm sorry about this, Fusaishi-san. And Yoshitsugu, you behave.
構いませんよ。ところで、リカコさんとメイコちゃんはまだでしょうか？
I don't mind. By the way, Rikaka-san and Meiko-chan still aren't here.
そうね
Question mark.
いつも朝はお早いけど
It seems so. They usually wake up early.
長者のことなんざ知らね
I don't give a shit about the village heads.
よしくんやめんかね
Stop it,
ちょっ
Yoshi-kun.
と
Oh,
お呼びしてこよう
also I didn't give the right voice. Stop it, Yoshi-kun. I'll go and call him. The relationships here were really complicated. Soon enough, Tai-san brought Rikaka-san and Meiko.
おはようございます
Good morning. As she entered the plaza, she looked at our mist-covered faces. Upon seeing mine, she gasped, then gave me a very slight bow.
お姉ちゃんお布団で転んだ足ぶつけて痛い
Oni-chan, One-chan, I rolled in my futon and hit my leg. It hurts. Thanks, Meiko. Thanks for the update. Meiko seemed in poor spirits.
後でおまじないをしてあげる
A bit later, I will make it better, with some magic words. Magic? I wouldn't have been all that surprised if she was actually capable of that.
しかし
She's
ひどい
magic.
霧ですね実際に安水の霧に巻かれるのは初めてです
This is my first time seeing Yasumisu's mist. It's awfully thick. Her saying that this is her first time seeing this. Another interesting aspect that was slightly touched upon in the last stream of this was our guy being like, putting it together that maybe the fact that obviously some people must have seen, there was like a couple instances where he talked about like, oh, some of the older people in this village have to have been here for around at least to see the mist at least one other time before, right? And there was him trying to like timeline it and try to like put it together about like when that might have happened, because then he's thinking like if people had experienced it before, they've clearly made it through. And so he's like kind of tucked that away as like back knowledge, where he's like, oh, maybe this might be an interesting thread to like kind of like pull on. And I don't think the game would have brought that up if it wasn't something that might make some kind of I don't want to say difference, but like might come back as like some kind of piece of knowledge to have or something. But at least we know our main protagonist is thinking like, hey, there's definitely people here in this village that had to have experienced the mist phenomenon at least once before, and made it through to see another day, right? So, or to be present now, I guess I should say. So that's like a slightly interesting potential aspect of the whole thing. And I was just reminded of that because she says this is her first time seeing it.
はい、私もそうです。
It is my first time as well.
宴をせねばなりませんね。
I believe we will have to perform the feast.
そうですね。
True.
てめえこれどの面下げて宴がどうとか言ってんだよ長者野郎がよ。
I don't want no fucking family head telling me to do the goddamn feast.
やめなさい、義継。
Yoshisugu.
すみません、力不足で。
It's very lovely.
本当に。
I'm sorry for being so powerless.
ねえお兄ちゃん怖い。
Bah, Oni-chan, you're scary.
俺はてめえを認めてねえ。てめえだって長者の一人に違いねえし、腹の中で何考えてるかわかんねえんだ。
I ain't okay with you being here. You're still a village head and there's no way to tell what you're thinking.
なぜそんなに敵視するんだい？それほどまでに長者は憎い存在なの？
What's your beef with her? Do you hate the village heads that much?
当たり前だ。長者がいなきゃおふくろは
Damn right I do. Without them, Mom would have...
絶対化けの皮剥いでやっから。
I'll expose you eventually. Yoshisugu-kun sure was aggressive this time. Did he have a guardian? This line of thinking felt dangerous. Making too many assumptions seemed more risky than not knowing anything.
お姉ちゃん
One-chan. Rakaka-san was as inexpressive as always, but I could tell she was feeling depressed.
なんというか大変ですね、ここは。
Man, things sure are difficult here, huh? Man, things really suck around here, huh?
春明様。
Oh, she's still gone. My bad, I was talking over her. Haruaki-sama. She's struggling. She doesn't know what to call me. She looked around in confusion before.
よくご無事でよかった。本当に。
I am relieved that you are well, truly. It's his fucking... He's so into... He's like, yes, another person into me. She then gave me a smile.
いや、さすがに霧程度でどうこうなんてならないですよ。
Hey, it's not like a mist can do much to me, right?
サルナガ、この下を流れる川ですが、サラナガの霧は黄泉の容器と言われます。
Saranaga, that is the name of the river below. Its mists are said to be the breath of Yomi.
富士吉では昔から最大の凶兆と考えられたのです。
They are considered to be the worst of ill omens here in Fujiyoshi.
野里さんも霧が出ると必ず死人が出ると言っていましたね。
Nosato-san told me that people always die when there are mists. She made a stern face unlike any I'd seen on her.
野里様は来て間もない春明様になんてことをお伝えになるのでしょう。
What a horrible thing to say to a newcomer, such as yourself.
ああ、いえ、こんな霧だから事故が必ず起きるのだと。
Oh, but he said that it's only because the mist is so dense it causes many accidents.
それにしても不謹慎です。
Even
休みずには今も皆様が住んでおられる。必ず死ぬなどと縁起でもない。
Even so, it is imprudent. People still live here. Saying that someone is certain to die is too ominous.
僕は来てまだ1日ですが、リカコさんは長者の一員としては少し変わっておいでなのでしょうか。
I've only been here for a day, but from what I can tell, you're pretty different from the other family heads, aren't you?
なぜそのような。
Why would you think that?
いえ、野里さんにしろ、上富士吉の人にしろ、休みずに対する物言いが。
Well, the way you talk about Yasumisu for one, it's nothing like Nosato-san and Kami Fujiyoshi's people.
私はしかるべき敬意を払うべきと 思っているだけです。
I merely think that it should be shown the respect it deserves.
藤吉という村の存続は休みずによるところが大きいのですから。
Fujiyoshi as a whole depends heavily on Yasumisu. So,
どういうことでしょう。詳しく聞きたいです。
what do you mean? Can you elaborate? Apparently not.
いずれお聞かせします。今はその
I shall tell you, eventually. Now is not.
ええ、そんな場合じゃありませんね。
Yeah, I understand. It's a bad time for that.
私は
I
休みずを守りたいのです。
want to protect Yasumisu. Thus, Akaka-san fell silent. Feeling a bit awkward, I resumed waiting. Soon enough, Takumi-san brought Kinosuke-shi to us. He immediately started worrying over Akaka-san, as expected, but she seemed unreceptive to him. I might have gotten in the way of his love story. It made me feel kind of bad. I'm so my aura is so strong. I just fucking put him on the back burner. Eventually, Kanzo-san returned along with the students.
間宮さん、そこ足元気をつけて。
Mamiya-san, watch where you step.
危ない危ない。
Whoa! Seeing Hisako Mamiya-san with them filled me with relief. She didn't die. Let's go. Thus, I finally understood what would happen now.
おはようございます。皆さん。
Good morning, everyone. Ignoring everyone's gloomy faces, she forced a smile and greeted us like it was a normal morning. The inhabitants didn't respond. I also had a guess about what had happened, so I had trouble picking my words, too.
どうしちゃったんです？確かにすごい霧ですけど、それが一体？
What's wrong with you all? Sure, this is a dense mist, but what about it?
あれ？
Wait,
橋本さん、まだ寝てます？
is Hashimoto-san still asleep? Again, no one responded. Oh
上の方
no.
にいるんでしたっけ？
Our guy.
ちょっと見てきますね。
He's up the hill, right? I'll go check. Our unproblematic king is dead again?
無駄よ。
No point. Kanzoshi opened his mouth, taking it upon himself to say it. I could already hear some stifled sobbing. It was Haruchen. Not only was she afraid, she also realized that a tragedy had occurred. Mamiya-san realized that something was wrong and was about to ask about it when...
でけえのは死んだ。
Big guy's dead. Crude old man just told her what was up.
何を？
Dead? What are you...
上ん崩れとるところで死んどる。
He's lying dead near the landslide.
何を言ってるんですか？
What kind of nonsense is that? She instantly lost her composure. The unnatural aura around her, around here, was suddenly starting to get to her.
ふざけないでください。今朝一番で車を直してここから出ないといけないんです。私、起こしてきますから。
Don't mess with me like that. We must fix our van and leave as soon as possible. I'll go wake him up myself.
勝手に動くんじゃねえ。
Stay where you are.
何の権限が？
What right do you have to...
牧島さん。
Makishima-san. I raised my voice because Kanzoshi reached for his gun again. Jesus.
でしょ。何これ？ああ、ドッキリとかパンクしたとこから。それならわかる。
This has to be a joke. What is this? Am I being punked? Did you burst the tires for this? Oh, that would make sense.
僕らはあなたたちの
Yeah,
ルー
you're
ルを
on
まだ
point.
知らないんだ。
What a
銃を
reference.
向けてあなたの思うように動くとは限りませんよ。
We still don't know your rules. There's no guarantee that we'll do what you want just because you have a gun.
なんだてめえは。
What's your deal? What's your deal, man?
どうしちまったんだ。人には絶対銃を無限なって普段やかましいあんたがよ。
You should stop that, old man. What's gotten into you? You always tell us never to point guns at people. Kanzashi silently lowered the gun.
ドッキリじゃないなら犯罪だわ。やりすぎよ。今すぐやめて。ここから出ていくわ。
If it's not a joke, then it's a crime. You're going too far. Stop it right now. I'm leaving this instant.
間宮さんだってか。悪いがそういうわけにはいかねえんだ。霧が晴れるまでは絶対に山に入っちゃダメだ。
Mamiya-san, was it? Sorry, but that won't fly. You can't leave until the mist clears.
それに言いにくいが、あんたの相棒はもういねえ。やられちまってる。
And sorry to say this, but your partner's gone. Someone killed him.
やられた。殺された。
I was really looking forward to him making it through. Like, I wanted to see the two of them.
だから。
It's kind of a bummer. Killed? Killed? What are you saying? He...
匠連れてけ。
Takumi, take her.
あんた血を見ても平気か？
Can you handle blood?
冗談なのよね。
You're joking, right?
僕も行きます。あの人にはお世話になったから。
I'll go with you. He helped me a lot.
あと悪いが手借りる。
I don't want to see his corpse. Alright, you'll have to help me though. With the cleanup, I assumed.
わかりました。
Alright.
私も行きます。メイコはここにいなさいな。
I shall go as well. Meiko, you stay here.
私も行く。
I'll go too.
俺も行く。そんなもんでビビらねえ。
Me too. That shit doesn't scare me.
くだらん。霧で迷って転びでもしたか。うちの辞書のことなら一応見に行かねばな。まったく面倒だ。
How absurd. He must have tripped on something because of the mist. Place happens to belong to me, so I guess I must see it too. How troublesome. We got so many volunteers that, besides the old people in Mako, the only ones who ended up staying were Kaori-san and Haru-chan, both of whom didn't look so good. Takumi-san led us uphill. Since we went through the field, some of us fell or got stuck, so we took a whole 10 minutes. Still, we arrived at the scene of the crime. What I saw there was almost exactly the same as what I saw last time. There was a brutalized corpse. It was close to the prefab, next to a waist-tall boulder, which did little to hide the large body. It was thoroughly destroyed. The entire frame had been torn apart and bent as if to systematically detach his muscles, insides, and bones from his body. The only things that hinted at who this once was were the scattered pieces of clothing and the impressive amount of flesh. Once again, Yudai Hashimoto, she failed to survive the first night. That's just a skill issue on his part then. Damn. So we went outside last night. As Takumi-san muttered to himself. What is that? Mamiya-san finally broke her disbelieving silence with a hysterical scream. What happened? What happened to Hashimoto-san? How did he end up like...
Mamiya-san, 落ち着いて。
Mamiya-san, please calm down. How can I? Why? Why did this happen? This is just... Mamiya-san stopped mid-sentence and began puking. She'd either screamed herself into vomiting or caught a direct glimpse of the corpse.
You're
not the only one who wants to scream. Crap. I don't want to die because of some old story.
知ってたんですか?
You knew about this? Huh?
こうなるってこと知ってたんですか?
You knew that this would happen? I asked him that while feigning anger and despair.
知ってたわけじゃねえ。しかし、昔からそういう話はあった。霧が出ると人が死ぬって。
Can't say I did, but we heard that this happens. Mists come, people die.
それは事故が原因のはずだ。
Those deaths were caused by accidents.
ああ、俺もそう思ってたよ。長者どもの説明を信じてな。 やっぱ嘘だったってわけだな。
That's what I thought. I believed what the village heads told us too. And look at that. They were lying.
嘘とはなんだ。今回だってなんだ。その狼が蘇ったなどというつもりか。
Who lied about what? What? Are you saying that the so-called Okami have come back from the dead?
とぼけんじゃねえ。化け物も
I
神
love
様もそう簡
infighting.
単に出てたまるか。どうせ長者が獣でもけしかけたんだろうが。
Don't act like you don't know shit. Monsters and gods don't just pop out of nowhere. It's village heads. They must have sent some beats. They must have sent some beasts here.
おやめなさい。お二人とも。
Stop it, you two. Rikaka-san's faint yet stern voice cut their argument short. She then faced Hashimoto-san's body and lowered herself before it.
宴の支度をし損じられた。マロードをもてなすべき。私たちに帰する席です。
It is our duty to give proper treatment to the guests who fail to prepare for the feast.
せめて安らかに。夜道を歩まれますよ。
We should, at the very least, let him go to Yomi in peace.
汚れは私が引き取る。
I shall take in his corruption. Rikaka-san then
何を
eats him. That would be so sick, right? She just like fucking starts like not munching down. Ew. What are you? Rikaka-san was inching her face closer to the pile of flesh and bone when... Oh no, she actually... Get away! Mamiya-san suddenly cut in, stopping her.
おい、何してんだ、やめろ。
Hey, what are you doing? Stop! Don't hold me back! Her voice and face were borderline demonic. None of us could bring ourselves to stop her. She leapt over to the corpse and, ignoring the blood, began sifting through the remains with her hands. It has to be here. I suddenly realized what she was doing.
手伝います。
I'll help. She didn't respond nor stop me. She'd completely lost her cool, but that madness was under control. It was clear this wasn't some unreasonable panic. After all, he must have had it. I began helping her, roughly searching the body.
春秋さん、何してるの？
Haruaki-san, what are you doing?
カメラだよ。この人なら何かを撮っているかもしれない。
The camera. He might have taken some photos.
あ、
Oh. This kill was the same as last loop. The body was torn apart with no rhyme or reason. I felt something stiff on my hand. It was hair. I was close to the head.
深く考えるな。
Don't overthink it. His camera must have been on his neck. I could follow this hint and... I felt a cord on my hand.
ありました。
Found it.
どこに？
Where? It was a thoroughly broken, expensive-looking digital camera. It must have cost a fortune, but Mamiya-san didn't care and just opened it.
化け物が化け物なんているもんですか？
Monsters. No way, they don't exist. She muttered that in delirium, took out its memory card, threw the camera away, and ran off.
どこ行くの？もう、匠兄ちゃん、あとお願い。
Hey, where are you going? Takumi-chan, take care of the rest. The two disappeared into the mist.
なんかわかるか？やっすん。
You know anything, Yasun?
大したことは。ただ、
Not much, but...
やっぱり、プレハブにはトイレがないんだ。
Look, the prefab doesn't have a toilet. Oh, that's the face of like... shit. Did he leave because he needed to go to the bathroom? Damn. Rewinds or fast forwards to the next loop. And then he's like, all right. There's no toilet in this prefabricated housing. Just shit in the corner. It's fine. Don't leave. Oh, so he had to leave to take care of his business. He didn't know how important the preparations were, so this result was obvious. I should have been the one to stay in the prefab. He died because of me. But I couldn't let myself wallow in regret. Akaka-san approached the body again, but Takumi-san put his hand on her shoulder.
あんたもそういうのはいらねえ。
You don't need to do that.
しかし、
But
長者のわけわかんねえもんに頼りたくねえし、頼らせたくねえ。
I don't want to rely on some mysterious village head shit. Don't make me.
そのうちもっとひどいことになる。植松は貧乏くじだろうが。
Things will just get worse. And you and Matsu always get the short end of the stick, don't you?
手だけ合わせとけ。
Just put your hands together or something. Takumi-san's tone was neither calm nor sympathetic. I had no idea what he meant by short end of the stick. But for some reason, I felt like he was protecting her from something.
わかりました。
Very well. Rakaku-san did as she was told and put her hands together before chanting some sort of prayer. Yoshisugu-kun watched her with a scowl.
リカコさん
Rakaku-san. Kinosuke missed his chance to talk to her, so he was just frozen in place.
やす、よし、近持ち。みんな連れて戻ってろ。手洗って、飯の支度だ。
Yasu, Yoshi, Chikamochi, take everyone and go back, then wash your hands and prepare to eat.
わかった。
Alright.
命令してんじゃねえよ。
Don't order me around.
りっちゃん、行こう。
Let's go, Richan.
野里さん、行きましょう。
Masato-san, it's time to leave.
別に案内などいらん。行きましょう、リカコさん。
I don't need you to lead me. Let's go, Rikaku-san. Thus, they all left.
悪いな、不妻子。
Sorry about this, Fusaishi.
いえ、このくらい頼ってください。
Oh, you can count on me for this much. Takumi-san and I began cleaning up Hashimoto-san's body. We couldn't remove the door, so we carried him on a board from the destroyed construction site. And so, we dropped him into Saranaga. I listened carefully, and I thought I actually heard a splash this time. So there was a bottom after all. Then why had we gotten lost on that one loop? Thinking on that possibility, I parted ways with Takumi-san, then returned to my hut and washed the blood off. I went to the plaza again. People had gathered around the dining hall. They were handing out food, apparently.
あんた、手は洗ったんかね。
You washed your hands? More like, you washed your hands?
はい。汚れも落としました。
Yes, and the rest of my body.
そうね。お疲れ様。
I see. Well done. Tai-san seemed to be a bit softer on me than before.
若い人は食べといで。さもなきゃ、もたんからね。
You youngins need to eat. You won't last long if you don't.
そうしましょうか。山脇さんは？
True. What about you?
あたしゃ胸がいっぱいでね。
I don't have an appetite right now.
食べられそうなら食べに来てください。
You should eat it anyways, if you can manage it.
うん。
Giving a vague response, Tai-san looked up at the boulder next to us. I followed her gaze and...
これは?
This is... Saw the blood sign from last time. Oh, is that 3 symbols? Does that mean 3 wolves?
あれは黄泉から戻った狼様の印だから、あれが2つあるってことは2人だってことだと思う。
Oh, was that two symbols? I thought I saw 3 in that picture. I just don't know how to count. I barely can read. I also don't know how to count. Yeah. Each of them represents a wolf returning from Yomi, so since there's 2 marks, it stands to reason there's 2 wolves. It looked like 3 to me. Do you not see 3? 1? Oh. That's what Chiemi had told me last time. That was a flashback. Okay. To her explaining. I was about to go mad. I re-looked at the image now that it brought it back, and I was like, how are you going to sit there and tell me this isn't 3? I was about to pitch a fit. That was what Chiemi had told me last time. And now...
狼様は3人おる。
There are 3 wolves. Yeah. And there were 3 of those weird diamond whorls.
どういうことです?
What do you mean?
後で教えてあげるからね。
I'll tell you later.
わかりました。ではまた。
Very well. See you then. A bit overwhelmed, I walked away. The number of people had increased. I was told there could be 3 wolves at most, and that was exactly what we got this time. Why? What caused this change? There were several differences from last time, but which one of them did it? Whatever it was, I could assume that knowing the rules from last time wasn't much of an advantage. You would have to guess, though, right, that it's probably dictated, at least this time, by the amount of people that are playing or are going to be participating in the feast. Technically, we're increasing the number, it seems, by 2. Or technically 3. We technically increase the amount of players by 3. So it stands to reason that then they tip the scale slightly in the wolf favor by adding from 2 to 3, because the guy shouldn't have died, right? He was a participant. He just didn't make it through the first night, is what you maybe would probably count that as. So 3 extra people, 3 extra players, add a wolf. That would be my thinking. Outside the dining hall, Kanzo-san was sitting on the ground and drinking something from a large bowl. He looked up at me and... "Better eat up," said those curt words before focusing on his bowl again. He didn't trust me, nor did he antagonize me more than necessary. That was pretty reasonable, actually. Welcome back, Fusaishi-san. Inside the building, I found the students, Uematsu-san, Meiko, Kinosuke-shi, and Kaori-san. Well, there was that old wolf guy too, but he was just staring at an empty bowl in the corner of the room. Sorry I couldn't help. Oh, don't be. Thank you so much for helping, Takumi-san.
大したことじゃないですよ。ちえみちゃんと間宮さんは
I didn't do much. Where's Chiemi-chan and Mamiya-san?
記者様がカメラの中を見るとかで部屋にこもっておいでです。芹沢様はその服を洗濯されるとかで
The journalist said something about looking inside the camera and locked herself up in her room. Serizawa-sama went to clean the journalist's clothes. Made sense. Mamiya-san was really bloody. Here you go. Kaori-san gave me a bowl and I took one of the empty seats. Thank you for your work, Fusaishi-san. No problem, Yasunaga-kun. You already remember my name. What an honor. That was enough to hint I was looping, was it? I took a pair of chopsticks and ate up. It was a simple meal of some boiled vegetables and meat. I'm sorry it's nothing impressive. These are leftovers from yesterday, but we can't waste anything, as you might imagine. How much food do we have?
冷蔵庫が止まっちゃったから牛乳やお肉はもうあまり持たないけどお米と野菜は心配しないでいいわよ
The fridge stopped working, so the milk and meat will go bad soon. But you don't have to worry about the rice and vegetables. Oh, I didn't think about it last time, but at the very least, this awful situation didn't come with a food shortage. Perhaps that was a silver lining. So you have no electricity. Any other problems?
どっちかっていうとガスの方が心配だわそろそろボンベ交換の時期だから切れたら焚き火かしら
I'm worried about the gas. It was almost time to change the cylinder, so if it runs out, should we make bonfires?
山もぶっちぎれだね
The mountain will go ape shit.
近持ちくん汚い言葉は使わないの
Chikamochi-kun, watch your language. Listening to that strangely mundane exchange, I resumed eating. It was actually good. It didn't look like it was, so I felt like I had to close my eyes. Unlike the soup I was given in Kami Fujiyoshi, it was well salted and had a rich taste. The meat had to be the game killed by Kanzo-shi and gutted by Chiemi. Didn't reek much and had a simple flavor. It was probably venison. I'd consider this revenge for the time they made a fool out of me in the mountains. In terms of the amount of meat and seasoning, the people here seem to be eating better than in Kame Fujiyoshi. Was it just my imagination? After emptying my bowl, I was offered some more and gladly took it. It was best to eat whenever I had the chance.
よくもそう、ここの食事に簡単に馴染めるものだね。
I am impressed how quickly you got used to the local food. Kinosuke suddenly commented. Yeah, commented. I thought he was being sarcastic, but his tone didn't seem antagonistic.
食べないんですか?
You're not eating?
家に食料があるのでね。正直、町暮らしが長いと、ここの食事はどうにも味気なく思えるものだよ。
I have food at home. Honestly, I've lived in this city for so long that the local food seems tasteless to me now. By local, he probably meant Fujiyoshi as a whole, not just Yasumisu.
それに、今はあまり食べる気にならん。
And I really don't feel like eating right now.
おっちゃん、食えば？最後になるかもしれないし。
You should dig in, Uncle. You might not get another chance.
おい、モッチー。
Mochi? Haru-chan had been completely pale since I'd arrived, but she suddenly covered her mouth and ran off to the bathroom. She'd forced herself to eat what she'd been given, but the stress had left her unable to keep it down. Oh, unfortunate.
貴様は人の気持ちを介さぬと拝着されたことから何も学ばんのかね。
Chikamochi, you were disinherited because you don't understand people's feelings. Have you learned nothing?
おっちゃんに言われたくない。謝ってくる。
Mochi, I love Mochi. I don't want to hear that from you. I'll go say sorry. He went to the bathroom too, leaving the rest of us feeling kinda awkward.
この後、何があるんですかね?
What's gonna happen now?
古臭い。より合いを開くのだろう。
Let's get the feast started.
あれをやったのが
Let's get
誰
this
か。
started.
それを決めるために。
We'll probably have a gathering like the old days and use it to decide who did it.
決めてどうするんです?
And what then?
大丈夫ですよ、Fusashiさん。
Don't worry, Fusashi-san. Yasunaga-kun joined the conversation with an unnaturally bright tone.
理不尽なことはきっと起きません。
I'm sure it won't be anything unreasonable.
お、なんか頼もしいな。
Oh, you sound confident. Makes you seem reliable.
ええ、大丈夫です。
Maybe. Anyway, don't worry. Was he a wolf this time too? As I frowned and thought to myself, Takumi-san joined us.
匠さん。
Takumi-san.
香織さん、大盛りで頼むわ。キヨ、しっかりしてっか?
Kaori-san, give me lots of whatever's up. You alright, Kyo?
気軽に呼ぶな。
Don't call me that.
お、臭いしはしっかり食ってんな。
Oh, Fusashi, you eating it too?
おかげさまで、ごちそうさまでした。
Yeah, thank you for the food, Kaori-san.
たく、俺より先に香織さんの飯なんて贅沢なやつだぜ。うまかったろ。
Man, you got to eat her food before me. Lucky you. Good stuff, huh?
ええ。お嫁にもらうなら、こんな方がいいですね。
Yes, makes me want someone like her as my wife.
あらあら、お世辞が過ぎる
Oh,
わ。
oh my, you flatter me too much.
てめえ、まさか香織さんを。
You, don't tell me you're after.
あれ、なんだろう、この空気。
Huh? What's up with this atmosphere? After playing it off.
ところで、匠さん。
By the way, Takumi-san. I called to Takumi in a low voice.
なんだ?
What?
宴はいつからですか?
When's the feast?
9時がおやっさんの指定。
At 9. Old man Kanzo said it.
わかりました。
Alright. There wasn't even an hour before we would begin discussing who to kill. Takumi-san began eating and everyone felt silent, so I went and moved seats.
大丈夫ですか、おじいさん。
You okay, old man?
Oh!
Oh! He was the same as always. Man, just what would we do if we had a guardian?
困りましたね。
That's so
来た
mean.
次の日に霧に巻かれるなんて。
This sure is troublesome. I arrive and get caught up in the mist this very next day.
おじいさんは 休みずのどの辺に住んでるんです？
Where in Yasumizu do you live? This wasn't even a conversation.
すみません。お邪魔だったみたいですね。
Sorry, looks like I got in the way of something.
ここは安全じゃ。
It's safe here.
はい。
Excuse me?
ここが一番安全じゃ。じゃから俺はここにおる。
This is the most safe place. That's why I'm here. Safe?
ああ、この食堂がってことですか？
You mean the dining hall? No response. Are we having a dialogue or was he just muttering things that made no sense? Was he talking about Yasumizu? That couldn't be it. After all, this was the least safe place in Fujiyoshi. I thought that he had a reason why he found it safe, but whatever it was, couldn't save him from dying last time. In the end, it wasn't safe for him either. Something seemed off, but I couldn't put my finger on what. I'd somehow lost my right to sit next to him and began searching for a new seat as I waited. The clock seemed to move strangely slowly. A chair next to me was pulled a bit. Anyway, where could I sit? Our eyes met. Anyway, where could I sit?
春明様とお話ししたい。
I wish to talk to you, Haruaki-sama. She expressed it with words. Anyway, where could I... Please don't make me sit next to her. Don't ignore Rikako-san!
まさかの方向からツッコミが。
Why are you the one saying that?
誰が突っ込みかね。日が浅くて敬うべき相手がわからんとしても、奥ゆかしい女性の気遣いは受けるのが礼儀だろう。
But what do you mean? I know you're new and don't know who to respect, but it's common courtesy to respond to a woman's modest consideration.
さっきのが奥ゆかしかったかはともかく、主張自体には反論できない。
Oh, I'm not sure if it was modest, but I can't really argue with the rest.
そうだろう。ふざけてるのかね。
So you understand. Wait, are you just messing around?
美香子さん、今日もお綺麗ですね。
Rikako-san, you look beautiful today.
お話終了。それはともかく野里先輩、さっきのはもしやノリツッコミですか？
There, we're done talking. Anyway, Nosato-senpai, how do you manage to play a straight man so naturally?
長者を適当にいじるな。
Don't mess around with the village heads!
お姉ちゃん、なんか変。
One-chan, you're being weird.
すごい。このメンツで漫才が成立してる。
Wow, he made a comedy routine out of these people.
変わった野郎だな。
Strange guy.
久石さん、面白い方
What the hell is this? I mean, this is so strange. Like, I know it's supposed to be a comedic moment and all, but it's just like, what? Do we really gotta do this while, like, is now the right time for some comedic levity to the whole situation as we're, like, gearing up, like, ramping up for, like, an important moment where we get to participate in the feast? Fusaishi-san is quite funny.
この顔どうすか？
Kaori-san, look at this face.
面白いですよ、匠さん。
It's funny, Takumi-san. Kinosuke eventually shouted the standard, "I'm not staying with someone so ill-bred," and left. Well, Takumi-san went with him, so I doubted Kinosuke would end unlucky victim 2. Well, Takumi-san went with him, so I doubted Kinosuke would end unlucky victim number 2 as per horror cliches. I see. It came back to me. During the previous feast of the Yomi Purge, Chikamochi, Kamoshida, and the old wolf guy had been killed, probably by something other than corruption. The suspects from back then, who were now around the dining hall, were... No. If it meant finding out the truth, I could just leave that. I had to switch gears. Anyway, I sat down next to Kakako-san, who'd said her "Hoos" so many times she'd actually gone limp. Fusayuki-san! So that was my name now, huh? Gave up on correcting her.
やあ、メイコちゃん。ちょっとお姉ちゃん借りるね。
Hey, Meiko-chan. I'll borrow Oni-chan a bit. Okay.
話されるんですか？
Are you going to
それ
talk?
じゃあ
Oh, why
こ
did
っ
I
ちで
think
遊
that
ぶ
was?
メイコちゃん。
Are you going to talk? Then, wanna play with me, Meiko-chan? Yeah. Yasunaga-kun took Meiko with him, giving us a chance to talk.
ひどい人
You are awful.
美人に言われると嬉しい言葉ですね。
Hearing that from a beauty like you actually makes me happy. I was actually starting to find these reactions adorable. I can enjoy bullying a cute older woman. This was a rare opportunity and I appreciate it immensely.
というわけで。
Anyway. Anyway, what is it?
私はとても
I
申し訳
feel
なく思っております。
I feel quite guilty.
え、何にです？
Huh? Why?
最悪の時にあなた方を休みずに迎えてしまったことを。
Because I accepted you and the journalists at the worst possible time.
それは仕方ないじゃないですか。霧が出るなんて予想はできない。
Is that something to feel guilty about? No one can predict when a mist comes.
いいえ、すべては私たち藤吉のものの最初の罪行によるものです。
No, this is all happening because of our Fujiyoshi's original sin.
最初の罪後？
Original sin?
この村は神の眷属を殺めて栄えた村なのですから。
Yes, this village prospered by killing the servants of God after all. The ancient story of killing the wolves, huh?
詳しい話を聞きたいですね。
I'd like to hear more.
この後おそらく山脇様から説明があることでしょう。
Yamawaki-sama should give an explanation later.
山脇さんから？
Yamawaki-san will?
はい。山脇様が休みずの名代でいらっしゃいますので。
Yes. After all, she is Yasumisu's representative.
名代、地主とかではなくですよね。
Representative? Not a landlord, huh?
ええ。休みずの土地はすべて村か長者のものです。とはいえまとめ役は必要ですから。
Yes. Everything in Yasumisu belongs to either the village or the family heads, but it still needs a manager.
山脇様がしっかりなさっている方で一番ご年配だから裁量を持つ、そういうわけでございます。
Yamawaki-sama is a well-adjusted lady, and the oldest of us all, so she possesses discretion. That is the way it is.
なるほど。そういうわけでございますか。
I see. So the way it is that, huh? Instead of turning bashful, she actually glared at me this time. This was pretty good too. That aside, I now knew how it was. The eldest was the representative, and with that, she was in charge of the feast tutorial.
ちなみにマロードっていうのは何か来訪者をもてなす文化みたいなものがあるのですか？
By the way, you seem pretty hung up on guests. Is there some sort of local culture related to that?
はい。そもそもかつての藤吉は狩りの安全の祈願のため信内大社を訪れる人で賑わったと聞きます。
Yes, I hear that. Fujiyoshi was once full of visitors who came to the Shinai Shrine to pray for good hunting.
遠方の狩人を村人はマロードと呼び手厚くもてなしたと言います。
Hunters from the outside were considered honored guests and treated kindly around here. That made sense. If the belief itself was the village's main draw, I can understand why this unique religion survived for so long. I wanted to get some certain details, but it didn't seem like something I should ask about while alone.
しかし、そっか。リカ子さんが僕に優しくしてくれるのも 僕がマロードだからなんですね。
So that's how it was. You're nice to me because I'm a guest, right?
いえ、そんなことは。
Huh? No, that is not...
それとも怪我をなさった時にその場にいたから？
Or is it because I was there when you got hurt?
それは、はい。感謝しております。
That is... Yes, thank you again.
でも、
But...
理由が必要でしょうか？
Do I need a reason?
いえ、そんなてっきり何か特別な理由があるのかなって。
No, not at all. I just felt like there was some reason behind it.
あったらどうなるのでしょう？
What if there was?
嬉しいかもしれない。
I'd be happy. Maybe. The adorable woman hung her head down, cheeks reddening. Oh, brother! I was the one playing around with her, but that actually made me feel kind of bashful. Perhaps I had to be more serious about her feelings. How would I do that, though? This guy. Forget it. It wasn't the time for that. I was given an important role, so I had to find a way to keep the others alive. This guy needs to get his fucking head in the game, quite literally. Like, this guy, again, portrayed as a smart game player, smart tactician, can kind of figure things out. That's what he's undertaking as himself. Like, he's like, I'm gonna solve this fucking thing, this mystery. I gotta do it to help people. And then he's like, oh, but I could mess around with one of the other single people in this village, you know, and yeah, and then it's like, oh no, I'm getting distracted. And it's like, this guy can't help himself. This guy cannot help himself. No faith. I have no faith in him, honestly. If this game ends and he just fails to solve things just because he constantly fucks up, because he's constantly just like, oh, Chiemi, oh, Uematsu, oh my god, Rikako, oh god, I would appreciate it. It wasn't the time for that. I was given an important role, so I had to find a way to keep the others alive. Let's go to the feast. Yes, shall we go? Shall we go? Karasan's voice prompted everyone to rise from their seats. Then, we wordlessly began to leave the dining hall. It didn't feel like an emergency, but this was the end of our normal, everyday life. We already had people at the hall. Kanzoshi, Takumi-san, Kyunosuke-shi, Yoshisuke-kun, and... Minna. Guys. Chemi and Mamiya-san were here too. Mamiya-san looked depressed. The only thing I will say that I'm somewhat interested in when it comes to like Chiemi versus Rikako and like how our guy is acting towards the two of them kind of thing. He was really buddy with Chiemi in the first loop. Like they were almost inseparable just basically because of how the situation kind of all checked out. And now we see in this loop, very much so, the way he came into the village and started out and met with Rikako first. Like, I am curious to see if the difference in, like, companion as far as, like, your duo, like, is that going to change how things kind of unfold? Is he going to use this, like, a different partner to, like, like, some kind of different advantage in as far as the feast or something? Like, I'm curious on that front. Like, I'm curious if it shakes out differently, if Chiemi really does take, like, a massive, like, backseat in this loop because of that, or is there a reason? Is there then, like, if she takes a backseat and we get mostly Rikako, is then a future loop going to be like, no, I need to, like, partner up with both Chiemi and Rikako because they both seem like big, important characters, and then us three are going to solve something? Like, I could see something maybe like that happening. Anyway. Chiemi and Mamiya-san were here too. Mamiya-san looked depressed. Her panic attack seemed to have subsided, but that didn't mean she'd come around to all this. Chiemi whispered to me that they couldn't read the data they'd picked up, so we had no clues on the camera. The wolf guy, the students, Haruchan's face was still pale, Kaori-san, Rikako-san, Meiko, and I all went inside. Something strange happened then. As they went in, they hid their faces with both hands and lowered their heads. It was a really weird gesture. I'd actually seen it last time, though. Tae-san had done this while facing a boulder when Prayer to Shinai was playing over the speakers. There'd been a strange veil-like thing on her face. Must have been another local custom. For now, I just followed their lead. Everyone sat in a circle. Seemed they were seating in order of age, starting from the far end.
Yamawaki-sama. 私はメイコのそばにおります。
Yamawaki-sama, I will sit next to Meiko.
ですよ。
Well, it wasn't enforced, though.
夫妻子と記者の姉ちゃんは
Fusashi and the journalist should sit at
下座で
lower end.
わかりました。
All right. How pleasant. I sat down closest to the exit, then Mamiya-san sat down beside me.
いいんですか？
Are you okay with this?
私ここの住人じゃないから。
I'm not a local after all. Her tone was cold.
何が
She's pissed.
始まるんでしょうか？
What's gonna happen now?
知らない。
No clue. She was whispering things like, why did this happen, or this just can't get any worse, and I couldn't see a single trace of the vigor from yesterday.
これでみんなかね。
Is this everyone? Yamawaki-san entered last and closed the door, plunging the room into darkness. Mamiya-san gasped, and Meiko let out a quiet scream. But that was it. No one here from Yasumisu was shook. Then, there was a click of a switch being turned on, lighting up the bare light bulb above. Oh, it's such a full room! Look at that! We got everyone. God, we really sit, like, close to each other. Like, I know they have to do it framing-wise for, like, the picture here. But, like, there's a part of me that's like, why don't we fill out the full circle? That's we're so layered, so close. The lighting was poor, making everyone's illuminated faces stand out more. It felt unnatural. Like a whole other world.
みんな座りんさった。
Everyone seated? And
読み意味の宴を始めましょうね。
let's begin the feast of the Yomi Purge. And so, it began. Urged by Yamawaki-san, Kaka-san, as though understanding our implications, went deeper into the room. And, after a bit of messing around, returned to us without tripping. In her hand, she held a labelless bottle.
新内様に献上されたおみきです。マロードから順に回し飲みしてください。
This is divine sake presented to Shinai-sama. Please drink it, starting from the guests. Nakakta-san sat down next to Mamiya-san and gave her an aged sake cup.
これ飲まなきゃダメですか？
Do I have to?
はい。汚れを遠ざけてくれます。
Yes, it wards off the corruption. Mamiya-san didn't reply, but still took it. Kaka-san then filled it with sake.
これを全員で飲むの？
Is everyone drinking this?
いくら飲んでいただいても結構です。お酒は
Oh, I chugged
た
that
く
bottle.
さんあります。
Drink as much as you want. We have a lot of sake. Hisako-san glared at the cup, smelled it, then just drank it all down. She sure looked like she could hold her liquor.
普通のいいお酒よ。銀醸化がする。
It's normal, good quality sake. Smells fruity like ginjo. Impressed by her professionalism, I took the cup from her.
春秋様は飲めますか？
Can you drink, Haruaki-sama?
どんと濃いです。
Bring it on. With a lighthearted reply, I let her fill the cup, then drank it all. Yeah, it was actually pretty good. It seemed like a luxury even. I had no idea how such a poor settlement got their hands on it. It didn't seem like I could ask for more, so I just gave the cup to Meiko. Kaka-san gestured for her to just pretend to drink it. Same for the students. Sake went through several people without anyone drinking.
ここから大人ね。いただきます。
Now it's all adults. Here I go. And now if I was making up the rules here, I would say, no, your lips actually have to touch the liquid, at least. Even if you're a kid and you're not supposed to be drinking or whatever. You gotta at least have that sake touch your lips. At least. Now it's all adults. Here I go. And Chemi emptied it the moment she got it. Kaka-san, who'd be sitting next to her if it wasn't for Meiko, then took a sip herself, followed by Keiru-san, until Keinosuke finally emptied what was left. Takumi-san drank 2 full cups, saying, "Some feast, huh?" You get to drink sake during the day. Then the elders each emptied a cup. He drank 2, that's funny. That was everyone. So Rikako-san took the bottle and cup and returned to her place. It's an interesting part of the ritual, right? We obviously got this last loop too, but it's like, I wonder if it has some deeper meaning, or if it is just, it's a thing we do ritualistically because it's a symbolic whatever. I wonder if there's some deeper meaning and or like an actual like something's happening when they're doing it, but like on a pure like story level, is it like, hey, we all take a drink because it's part of the ritual, but also like it slightly loosens us up for the oncoming debate about to happen kind of thing? Interesting. We done? Taiba, talk.
伝承を知らない方もおられます。すべて説明されるがよろしいかと。
We have people who do not know the story. You should start from the beginning.
そうですね。それじゃあお話ししましょうね。
That's true. Well, let me tell you about it. Finally. This is I mean, he got this story secondhand last time, right? But now he's actually getting to hear it.
新内様の一のお守りは狼様じゃった。
Shinai-sama is the god of the mountain. Long ago, when this village was made, Shinai-sama's first guardian was the wolves. Okami-sama.
狼様は他のお守り様、蛇様、猿様、カラス様、雲様らと読み人から人を守ってくれたのよ。
The wolves protected the other guardians, the snake, monkey, crow, and spider from the Yomibito.
読み人何？
What's a Yomibito?
死んだ人、生き返った人よ。
People who died and came back.
怖い。
Scary.
大丈夫。私がいるわ。
It's fine. I'm with you.
狼様は今も上富士吉の新内明神に祀られとる。他のお守りよりも一等偉いのが狼様よ。
In Kami Fujiyoshi, the Okami-sama are still worshipped with great Lord Shinai, even more revered than the other guardians.
じゃが、安水には別の話が伝わっておる。
But here in Yasumisu, we have a different story.
狼様は確かに人を助けたが、人を喰らいもした。狼様の前では火もたけんかった。
The Okami-sama did protect humans, but also ate them. The Okami-sama also forbade fire.
じゃから人は蛇様、猿様、カラス様、雲様に頼み込んで狼様を騙したんじゃ。
That's why the people sought help from the snake, monkey, crow, and spider and tricked the Okami-sama. Rikako-san had called it Yasumisu's original sin. Last time, Chami was the one to tell me. Everyone living here knew it, surely. And since Kinosuke-shi and Rikako-san knew it, the village heads knew it as well. Kami Fujiyoshi's people, though, just continue to revere the Okami-sama, the wolves.
人は宴を開いて狼様にたらふく酒を振る舞った。
The people held a feast and gave the Okami-sama lots of sake.
他のお守りもしきりに酒を勧めるものだから狼様は大いに酔っ払った。
The other guardians helped push the sake on the Okami-sama, and so the Okami-sama got very drunk.
やがて狼様が眠ったところを人は寄ってたかって運び、皿長に放り投げて殺してしもうた。
Eventually, when the Okami-sama fell asleep, the people threw the Okami-sama and threw him into Saranaga.
それから藤吉の者はますます栄えたが時折黄泉から狼様が落ちてきて人を食らうようになった。
Fujiyoshi then prospered more than ever before, but every now and then the Okami-sama would raise from Yomi and eat people again.
狼様は人に化けておられる。じゃから人は狼様を見つけくくって亡きにせねばならんのよ。
The Okami-sama can pretend to be a human, so the humans must find them, hang them, and slay them all.
しかし一日にくくれるのは一人。それが神内様の決めた掟。
However, they could only hang one a day. That was one of Shinai-sama's rules.
じゃからこうして集まって亡きにする一人を決める。それを読み意味の宴と言った。
They gathered like this and decided which one to slay. They called it the Feast of the Yomi Purge.
夕霧が立つのは狼様のお越しの合図じゃからみんな支度をする。
The evening mist is the sign of the Okami-sama's arrival, so everyone prepares.
風呂を浴びて一人一つの家に閉じこもってきちんと寝ることじゃ。それもまた神内様の掟。
Take a bath, hole up in a house alone, and sleep well. That too is one of Shinai-sama's laws.
そうでない者は汚れを受ける。神内様の神罰じゃ。お姉ちゃん、書くのはやめてくれんかね。
Those who don't do it receive the corruption, Shinai-sama's divine punishment. Young lady, can you please stop writing? Mamiya-san was taking notes. She silently put away her notepad, and I couldn't read her expression at all.
わからんところは教えてあげるからね。
I'll explain everything you don't understand.
ともかくも、夕霧の日、神内様は汚れをお下しになった。
Now, on the day of evening mist, Shinai-sama brought the corruption.
そして置き場によもつ狼様の印が描かれておった。3つ。
And the Okiba was marked with 3 symbols of the Yomotsu Okami-sama.
遮ってすみません。置き場とは？
Sorry, but what is an Okiba?
安水に点在する岩石のことだ。人工物と思われるが、由来は不明だがね。
The stones you can find around Yasumizu. They seem to have been placed there by people, but no one really knows where they came from.
安水のものは、あれは敬うべきものだと教わります。
Yasumizu's people believe they should be respected.
かつて水場ができる前は岩の上で火を焚いたことから置き場と呼ぶのだと、そんな話もあります。
I heard that before the watering hole was created, the fires were lit atop the stones, so Okiba might mean peace for kindling, or place for kindling. That seemed like a weird idea to me, but I just kept listening.
安水はね、貧しいところよ。土も悪いし日も当たらん。獅子は多いが取るのはいつも命がけ。
Yasumizu is poor, you see. The soil is bad and we get no sunlight. There are many wild beasts, but hunting them is always a matter of life and death.
でも置き場があるからここは特別じゃとあたしらは思ってるのよ。
But because of the Okiba, we believe this place is special.
なるほど。それで印っていうのは？
I see. So what was that about symbols?
ひし形に渦のようなやつですね。
Those diamonds with whorls in them, right?
そう。あれが3つ。じゃから狼様は3人おる。
Yes, there are 3 of them, so there are 3 wolves.
なんでそん んなことがわかるんです。日常茶飯事なんですか、ここじゃ。
How do you know that? Is this a daily thing here?
山祭り言うてね。
She'd be like me.
毎年お守りの格好をした身車様方が村中を練り歩く行事があってね。
We have mountain festivals around here. Every year, the Miguruma dress up as guardians and walk around the village.
そこで狼様の人数が似たようなやり方で知らされるのよ。
The number of wolves is announced in a similar way. That matched what Chiemi had told me last loop, down to the part that there were a maximum of 3 wolves.
なんで3人なのかしら。
Why 3?
親と子なんじゃと。
Because it's 2 parents and a child. I myself had already imagined something like that. It turned out I was on the mark. It didn't seem all that important though. After all, the wolves didn't have that manner of blood relationship last time.
とにかく私も信じがたいけどね。こうなったからには安水の者は狼様をくくらねばならん。
I can hardly believe it happened too, but now that it did, the people of Yasumisu must hang the Okami-sama.
それが安水の者が長者の皆々様によくしていただいている理由。あたしらの責務じゃからね。
That is the reason why the village heads are so kind to us. It's our mission. Yoshisuke-kun clicked his tongue, and Yasunaga-kun calmed him down. Takumi-san furrowed his brow as expected. The village heads, kind to Yasumisu inhabitants, the exact opposite was true, and many seemed to reject her words. However, she got the story across, and since no one pointed out any problems, it was probably completely right.
藤吉という村の存続は安水によるところが大きいのですから。
Fujiyoshi as a whole depends heavily on Yasumisu, so I also came to understand those words. Yasumisu existed to be the first line of defense if the wolves returned. The people here weren't some venerable soldiers, though. They were more like sacrifices. In the Shinai faith, Saranaga was the entrance to Yomi, so by letting someone live nearby, they could stop the resurrected wolves via the feast. In Yamawaki-san's story, this duty was something that Kamifujiyoshi's family had rewarded in some way. This wasn't the time to focus on the minor inconsistencies, though. There was something more important. I had to listen and see how accurate the rule she presented would be. Keeping my mouth shut, I waited until she'd gone over everything regarding the rules. Then, I considered it all. We had we had these among us. 3 wolves, a snake, 2 monkeys, a crow, and a spider. The snake could write down the name of a still living person and place it by their pillow before bed to find out what they were. The monkeys, upon receiving their guardians, would be informed about who the other monkey was. Yes. Snake could write down the name. Yes. Find out. Yes. Research. Yes. The crow would wake up to find out whether the person lynched the day before was a wolf or a human. The spider could write down the name of a still living person and place it by their pillow before bed to protect them from the wolves. The powers of these guardians were given out with no regard for the blood of the families they were supposedly protecting. That is, I don't know if I had talked about it, but it is a weird aspect to the whole thing. And maybe there's a reason for it. It almost makes me feel like there's a reason for it, but like they've talked about the family heads of these families. They have guardians assigned to them, but then those guardians don't necessarily transition to immediately those people when this feast thing starts happening. So then what's the point? Like, it would have been very easy for the game to just say, these are deities that we acknowledge as like a thing, and then they bestow upon us their power, yada yada yada. But it almost feels like there's gotta be a reason then that there's, and I don't know if it's gameplay wise or story wise, but there feels like there's gotta be some reason, we just don't know yet why there are certain animal deities or whatever tied to certain families, right? and then we have members of those family heads, like, you know, in amongst us, right? There's got to be some reason. Because again, it would be very easy for the game not to make it weird like that and confusing. Because like here, they have to say like, oh, they're, you know, powers of the Guardians are given out with no regard for the blood of the families they're supposedly protecting. Excuse me. You wouldn't have to describe that and make it potentially more confusing if like there wasn't a specific reason why that exists. Whatever. Their powers were to be used to discuss and lynch someone each day. There were 3 wolves. They would brutalize one of the humans every night. The wolves had to be purged before they killed all the humans. If you broke the rules, the god of the mountain would bring forth the corruption, a supernatural death, upon you. Great. Once the explanation was over, the room was filled with the sounds of discussion, but there was still something I had to confirm. I opened my mouth.
タイバー、ちょっと待って。まだわからないことがある。
Hold on. Taiba, there's something I don't understand. But Yasunagi-kun was faster.
なんね、ヤス君。
What is it? No. Oh, what is it?
狼様は必ず一晩に一人だけ血祭りにするんだっけ？
You said that the wolves only kill one person per night.
そうよ。
Yes.
それはどうして？
But why?
神内様のお膝元じゃ。よもつ狼様も神内様の言う通りにせんといかん。
In Shinai-sama's court, even the Yomotsu Okami-sama must do what he says.
神内さんはどうしてそんな決まりを狼に与えたんだろう。狼はどうしてそれに従うんだろう。
Why did he give them that rule? And why do they obey it?
それは計り知れんね。
It's not for us to fathom.
あともう一つ。雲の加護で一人を守ったら、狼様は他の人を狙えるの。
Another thing, if the wolves go for the spider's target, can they go for anyone else once they realize they failed?
それはできんよ。雲の加護が狼を止めれば、その夜人の夢見は必ず守られるそうじゃ。
They can't. I was told that if the spider stops the wolves, the humans sleep in peace that night.
タイバーはなぜそんなことを知ってるの？
How do you know that?
それはあたしが大昔にあたしのおばあさんに。
My grandmother told me a long time ago.
タイバーは読み意味の宴に参加したわけじゃないんだよね。
You haven't participated in a feast before, have you? His strong tone made everyone freeze.
おいヤス、一体何なんだよ。
Yasu, what's up with you?
霧が出るたびに宴があるなら、誰かは宴に出たことがあるってことだよね。
If there are feasts every time there's mist, someone here must have been in one, right?
僕の覚えてる範囲じゃ、8年くらい前に一度霧が出てるはずで。
As far as I know, we had a mist just 8 years ago and...
兄ちゃん、やめてよ。
Nichan, stop! Haruchan raised her voice and attracted everyone's attention.
やめてよ。思い出したくない。
Stop! I don't want to remember.
でも、ハルちゃん。
But, Haruchan.
ヤス、わしが後で聞く。
I'll ask later, Yasu.
あん時には、せがれと嫁が死んどる。春に聞かせんでもええ。
My son and his wife died back then. Don't make Haru hear about it.
おじいちゃん。
Oji-chan. Oh, so that was how it was.
上の土砂崩れの現場見たか？ありゃ8年前に野里が手入れたら崩れてそのまんまになってる。
Did you see the aftermath of the landslide uphill? It's been like that ever since the Nosato got to work on the place 8 years ago and it collapsed. It was all coming together. Landslide and Haruchan's parents' deaths both happened 8 years ago when there was mist.
あたしは休みずにおらんかったよ。覚えとらんかいね。あんたらがお泊まり学校に行っとる手伝いで上藤吉におった。
I wasn't in Yasumisu back then. Did you forget? I helped around the Kami Fujiyoshi school you children were staying at.
私は今回が初めてよ。あん時に宴があったのかもしらん。
It's my first time. Feast probably happened while we were away.
でも、私のおばあさんは宴に出たことがあったんかもしれんね。
But my grandmother might have been in one herself.
そう。
I see. Yasunaga-kun backed down, but didn't seem all that convinced. I also had questions how the rules of the feast could be passed down so perfectly through nothing but word of mouth. After all, rejecting those rules meant death. What if there were gaps in what we'd just been told? Those who never heard of these rules or participated in the feast wouldn't have a clue. From what I knew, Tai-san didn't mention 3 important rules just now. The wolves also couldn't kill more than one person. If the spiders successfully stopped the wolves, they couldn't choose any other sacrifice for the night. And the guardians were written in blood, and you couldn't show yours to anyone. The first 2 were pointed out by Yasunaga-kun, but the last one, the thing I'd heard from Kanzo-san, wasn't mentioned yet. I wasn't too confident in this method of conveying the rules. If this was the way they'd been passed down over the course of the feast's long history, it seemed to me that vital information would have been left out like this, resulting in everyone dying through unintended rule breaking long ago. That would have ended the tradition, and the fact that hadn't happened meant there might have been other ways of conveying information. In particular, they hadn't mentioned anything about the way the guardians were given. Leaving out the part about how they revealed through blood text seemed particularly risky. After all, it was possible that you could sleep in and someone could come in and see it without you realizing it, or you could roll around in a bad way and rub it out. Well, if they said it was some supernatural blood that didn't fade so easily, I would have no idea what to make of that. There was also the possibility that you could walk around with the text on your stomach without realizing it was there. It took Kanzo-san pointing it out for me to go back and check it. I'd have liked to ask more about it, but that was the same as telling the wolves I had a guardian. What a predicament. But it didn't seem like I had any time to think about it.
もういいだろ。酒飲んでクソババアの話聞いて、一人選んで殺せっつうのか。
Enough of that. We drink, listen to the hag, and pick someone to kill, right?
誰をどう選べっつんだよ。あ?
How the fuck do we do that, huh? A reasonable question.
昔話が本当なら、この中の何人かがすでに死んでて、入れ替わられてるってことなのかな?
If the story is true, it means that some of us are already dead and replaced, doesn't it?
そんな
Oh no.
あるわけねえだろ。
Oh no. Like hell that's true. Takumi-san had no patience for such superstitions.
どうせこれも長者どものせいだ。霧の間に何人かぶっ殺して、俺らを参らせようって魂胆だ。
This is all the village head's fault anyway. They won't have some of us off in the midst to dampen our spirits.
ムロ、様、長者を何だと思ってるのかね。
Muro, what do you think they are?
時代遅れの頭腐った下道だと思ってる。否定できるか？あ？
Rotten-brained scumbags who are behind the times. Don't act like you can deny that.
でも、どうやったらあんな殺し方ができるっていうのさ。
But what do you do to kill a person that way?
それは知らねえけど。
I don't know.
匠、なんだって関係ねえ。ほっときゃ狼がみんな殺す。
It don't matter. It don't matter, Takumi. The wolves will kill us if we all sit back and do nothing.
狼は宴でくくる。
Slip back into his voice.
他の手はねえ。
We gotta hang him in the feast. There's no other way.
おやさん。
Oh man. Saying that at this point was pretty much an admission that he'd been in a feast before. However, his sternness made it hard for anyone to point that out. And having experienced a feast or two before was actually an advantage in this situation anyways. After all, everyone would want to benefit from his knowledge and experience.
カンちゃん、どうやってくくるもんを決めればいいのかね。
Kan-chan, how do we decide who to hang? Yamawaki-san's question made everyone look at Kanzo-san's face. You could tell how much they trusted him.
おやさん。
Old man?
おじいちゃん。
Hoji-chan.
おい、兄ちゃん。
Hey, you there.
久石優太か。
Fusaishi, right? Me?
なんでしょう
Yes.
死んでくれんか。
Can you die? What? Huh? My mind came to a halt for a moment, and I couldn't find out how to respond. Uematsu, pour him some more. Makishima-sama. Just do it. Kaka-san argued no further and brought me the cup and the sake. You should not drink. It's fine. I will. I took the cup, and she filled it up. I was being peer pressured to drink more. What do you mean? I drank it all down, then looked over everyone's faces. They lowered their gazes or looked away. Adults, children, the elders, even Chiemi. No one besides Kanzashi looked into my eyes. I could see how it was. Someone's gotta die. Gotta decide who. Those will win if we don't. We can't waste a day, but no one's wreaking a wolf right now. We'll know more if one dies. I understood now. He wanted to start off by unmasking the crow. My death at the tree would be a chance for him to show themselves, since they'd know for certain whether I was human or a wolf. He wanted to start off by unmasking the crow. My death at the tree would be a chance for him to show themselves. Why am I getting confused by what that's saying here? Is it because I'm currently distracted by something else? We can't waste a day, but no one's wreaking a wolf right now. We'll know more if one dies. Okay, so he's just saying... He's basically taking the stance of, we can't waste a day here. Like, literally what he said. We can't waste a day. We have no idea who's a wolf, but if we kill someone, we can at least get a determination of, like... He wanted to start off by unmasking the crow. My death at the tree would be a chance for him to show themselves, since they know for certain whether I was human or a wolf. Right. Kanzo-san really did know how the feast worked. He understood that victory depended on those with guardians. And since I was new here, I was easy to sacrifice. It preserved the group's unity and mental health. Right. So he's like, I want to get the game. Basically, Kanzo's like, we got to get the game moving. We have to start it rolling the ball, basically. Inaction is going to do us no favor when we're basically racing against time. Let's kill this guy. He's the easiest target. No one will be too upset. He was the last one basically to join us. Let's pick him and see what happens, kind of thing. And since I was new here, I was easy to sacrifice and preserve the group's unity and mental health. I could tell that they would tolerate me being the one to hang. However, I couldn't let that slide. My current objective was to survive and escape, not to mention I was the snake. My death would be really bad for the humans. However, you came here to die, didn't you? Die for us, will ya? What a good scenario. If I said I didn't want to die anymore, they probably wouldn't suspect me, but it wouldn't be good in the long run. If they saw me as pathetic, I'd lose popularity and my word would start to mean less. The settlement was in danger. Kanzashi was trying to take control of the situation and everyone was okay with it. If my words started meaning less to them, I'd be at a disadvantage, creating a situation where I, like the outsider I was, could be killed easily. My only option was to express that I was a person who shouldn't die, but be roundabout while doing it. However, it could make me look dangerous to make it more likely for them to see me as a wolf. Pour some more. But please do. Oh, so another reason he was making me drink was to get me drunk, make me less resistant to being hanged. Well thought out. I couldn't get drunk from this though. What a predicament. I had no choice but to man up. Wait, what are you about to say? Hisako Mamiya cut me off. This wasn't too bad, so I shut up and let her talk.
黙って聞いてれば何？みんなこれでいいの？だとすればこんな茶番付き合ってられない。
I can't just keep quiet and listen to you all. Are you all actually okay with that? If so, I can't play along.
間宮さん。
間宮さん。
あなたおかしいと思わなかった？あのタイミングでタイヤがパンクして次の日にこんな目に遭ってるのよ。
Don't you think this is weird? The tires burst and the next day we're caught up in something like this.
まさかそんな全時代的なって思ったけど、これはよそ者を略取して殺そうって風習なんじゃないの？
At first I thought it was too old-fashioned even for you people, but now I actually believe this is some custom where you abduct and kill outsiders.
それは違う。
Now here's the thing, she's acting so belligerent and understandably so, but this is gonna work against her in her favor. Like, she's gonna just be voted out because the same reason that Konzo was pointing his finger at me just as easily could be pointed at her for being the newest person here too, right? And she's already acting belligerent as well. It's gonna be very unfortunate, but this might be, again, it's that mentality of like, you know, the famous Sandra line from Survivor, where it's like, who should we vote for? Who should be eliminated? Anyone but me. It doesn't matter. The anyone but me mentality of like, I just need to make it another night, you know? So, unfortunate for her if she keeps... It's a thing where like you can't give a reason, unfortunately. You have to try hard, but you can't try too hard, because if you try too hard, you're going to come across as trying too hard, and then that's going to make you stand out. But you also got to defend yourself a little, but if you don't defend yourself at all, then that's also not good. But also, you're so already so close to the edge and the outside that... Whatever. That's wrong! Takumi-san's expression changed as he cut her off.
言いたいことはわかるが、本当に偶然だ。みんなあんたには同情してる。
I see your point, but that's accidental. Everyone here feels for you.
でも今の不採取君への物言いじゃ次に水を向けられるのはきっと私でしょ。
But from what was said about Fusaishi-kun, I'd be the one to go next, wouldn't I?
そんなことはねえし、不採取をやるってのはおやつさんが言ってるだけだ。
No, you wouldn't. The only one saying that is old man Konzo.
Takumi.
Takumi.
おやつさん、そんなやり方じゃまずい。ちゃんと怪しいやつを話し合うべきだ。
Listen, this ain't the way to do this. We should talk about who's shadier than the rest.
全員怪しくね。だから全員怪しい。
No one is. No one is. We all reek the same.
話し合いで何がわかる？
Talking ain't gonna help.
全員怪しい。
We all reek?
おやつさん。
We all reek, even me?
なんで？
Why?
関係ねえのよ。読み見の宴には。
It don't matter in the feast. The old yet robust man stood up and spoke aloud.
化け物はこん中におる。この場じゃ平気な顔をして、夜になりゃ平然とわしらを殺す。
There's monsters among us. They don't look like it now, but they kill us at night.
それが読み見の宴よ。人情じゃ勝てん。
It's a feast of the Yomi Purge. You won't win with emotions.
は？化け物？じじいとうとうボケやがったか？あ？
Huh. Monsters? Old age getting to you, huh?
よしすぐお願いやめて。
Yoshisugu, please stop.
ババアは化け物なんて信じるのかよ。俺は信じねえぜ。姉ちゃんの車に釘巻いたやつのことも気になるしよ。
You believe in monsters, Hag? I don't. There's also the issue of the guy who puts nails in the woman's tires.
釘を巻いた。
Someone put them there?
最近大工仕事なんかなかっただろ。釘から金もねえような。
It's like, don't look at me.
わざとに決まってんだろ。
There hasn't been any construction recently, right? People barely have any money for nails. Gotta be on purpose.
長者のせいだって言うのか。
Are you saying the village heads are responsible?
他に何があんだよ。あの連中が人死にが見てえからってよそ者を巻き込んだにちげえねえだろうが。
Who else? They want to see people die, so they drag the outsiders into it.
あ ありそうな話だな。
Seems likely.
馬鹿げている。長者はそんなに暇ではない。
Preposterous. They're too busy for that.
若えのは樋口が差し向けたな。
Youngin, you were sent by Higuchi, right? Now, this is bad.
樋口からなんか聞いてねえか。
Told you anything? Takumi-san, Yoshitsugu-kun, and even Mamiya-san stared at me.
え、妻子よ。
Well, Fusaishi? They now thought I could have been sent here by the village heads as an agent of theirs. That was a really good script, especially since I actually was the one who burst those tires.
やめてください。さっきから黙って聞いてれば全部憶測じゃないですか。
Stop! I can't listen to this. Those are all just assumptions.
間違ってたらどうするの？山が全て許すとでも言うんですか？
What if you're wrong? Don't tell me it'll all be okay because the mountain will forgive us or something.
許されようがなんじゃろうが、狼くくって安光を守る。
I don't care about forgiveness. We'll hang the wolves and protect Yasumisu.
まあ夫妻のことは深くは聞かん。死者の女も悪いようにはしねえ。
I'm not gonna ask Fusaishi anymore. I ain't planning on arming the journalist.
じゃが一人死なねば話が進まん。女子供をくくるのは夢見が悪かろう。
But nothing will change if no one dies, and I won't sleep right if I hang a woman or child.
わしはそれを頼んどるだけよ。
Well, that doesn't leave many people that he's willing to hang. That's all I'm asking for.
じゃあ私が代わりにくくられる。
Then hang me instead. Well, that was unexpected. Everyone stared at the stern-faced Chiemi.
私はこんな卑怯な方法でできたばかりの隣人を殺そうとしてるこの安水の空気が大嫌いだ。
Yasumisu is about to unfairly kill a new neighbor. Is that what it's supposed to be like? If so, then I hate it.
どうしても一人分の死が必要なんなら私でいいでしょ。迷惑いっぱいかけたお返しにご奉仕しちゃうよ。
If you need a death, then kill me. Consider it atonement for all the trouble I caused.
知恵ねえ。何を言ってるんだよ。
Chieni, what are you saying?
ヤスくん、私ね、さっき一瞬思っちゃったんだ。この
Yasu-kun,
中で誰が死ぬのが一番マシかって。
Yasu-kun, I just went and thought about which one of us I would prefer to die.
それで肝臓じいちゃんが春明さんに水を向けた時、それはマシかもって。
And when Kanzo-ji-chen targeted Haruaki-san, for a moment, I actually thought that seemed fine.
一瞬でもそう思った。私の中の安水を許せないから。
I can't forgive that part of me that Yasumisu has made.
だからとりあえずで殺すなら私を殺してよ、肝臓じいちゃん。
So, if you need someone to die, then kill me, Kanzo-ji-chan.
知恵ねえ、やめようよ。
Chieni, stop that.
そうだよ。その身代わりが知恵ねえじゃなくたってその
Yeah, I mean, there are other people who can take his place. He didn't respond. His face was a total blank. No, he actually seemed slightly vexed.
芹沢様のおっしゃる通りです。
It is just, as Serizawa-sama says.
理由なき死をマロードに求めるなど、間宮様のように疑われても仕方ないと思わないのですか。
If we seek a meaningless death from a guest, we cannot fault Mamiya-sama for suspecting us the way she did.
ならおめえが身代わりになれや、長者様よ。
Then you do it. You're a fucking family head anyway.
わしはそれでも構わん。
Fine by me.
何をバカなことを。夢見の守り手たる上松家の最後の一人だぞ。それに対して何という。
What are you saying? She's the last of the Uematsu. Protectors of dreams. How can you even suggest that?
てめえは黙ってろや、青病天。
Shut up, you scrawny fuck.
確かに私は過去もなく皆様の邪魔になっていることでしょう。
It is true that I have no guardian. It would simply get in everyone's way.
ただこの子のことが心がかりだ。
but I am concerned about this girl. Bah!
ガキを出しにして命乞いか
Using the brat to beg for your life, huh?
吉次、お前ちょっと黙ってろ。
Yoshisugu, shut up already.
いい子ぶってんじゃねえぞ兄貴。あいつらのせいでおふくろは
And you stop playing the good guy. It's their fault that mom's.
植松さんは関係ない。これ以上母さんを困らせるな。
This has nothing to do with Uematsu-san. Stop troubling mom already.
安永、吉次。
Yasunaga, Yoshisugu. I was at my limit. Though Kanza-san's idea was reasonable, it was possible he too was being swayed by antagonism towards the village heads. If they moved based on that or just some sort of hatred, everyone would just become more emotional. People became wolves without any regard for bonds and relationships. I knew that well. That was why I couldn't let the feast take that turn and become heavily controlled by outside factors. There was also the fact that I wasn't about to just accept death. Then, could I let the volunteers die instead? I wasn't fond of that idea. Excuse me?
僕が
I'm a monkey! Out of context, that is very funny. I'm a monkey! I might have underestimated the feast of the Yomi Purge. I couldn't control it at all. There were too many wills clashing from too many people. Surprised by Yasunaga-kun's words, I fell silent and shot him a sidelong glance.
安永、あなた。
Yasunaga, you...
僕は猿の加護を受けました。一番嫌な加護だ。山は一体何をやらせたいんだろうね、母さん。
My guardian is the monkey. I don't like it one bit. The mountain sure works in mysterious ways, huh, Mom?
兄貴
You
それ本当なのかよ
serious?
本当だよ、吉次。肝臓さん、僕も狼を排除することは絶対必要だと思う。
I am. Yoshisugu, Kanza-san, I do believe that we must eliminate the wolves.
けど、宴の外の事情を使ってくくる相手を選んだら、禍根を残すと思うんです。
But if we hang someone based on what happens outside the feast, we'll have major trouble in the future.
それよりまだ他にできることがある。
There's still other things we can do.
僕は猿だ。そしてもう一人の猿に名乗り出てもらいたい。
I am a monkey. As such, I want the other monkey to present itself.
待ちなさいな、ヤスくん。加護は大事にせんといかんのじゃないんかね。
Wait, Yasu-kun. Guardians are too precious to reveal just like that.
いや、タイバ、猿に限っては明かさなきゃ意味ないんだよ。
No.
じゃあ、ついてきてる？
No, Taiba. The monkeys are the only ones that should be revealed. You understand, Haru-chan?
ごめん、わかんない。
Sorry, not at all.
猿は2人いるけど、特別な力はない。猿であるという特性だけだ。だから狼にとって大きな脅威じゃない。
There are two monkeys, but they don't have any special powers. They're just monkeys. That means they're not much of a menace to the wolves.
むしろ明かした方が容疑者を2人減らすことができて選びやすい。
Revealing them instantly removes two suspects, making it easier to find the wolves.
そっか、ただの人間で安全。
Oh yeah, they're just people, so they're safe.
さあ、名乗り出てください。
Now, please show yourself. This was a trap. The monkeys knew who the other monkey was. He didn't have to ask them to name themselves. He could just point them out. He also emphasized that being a monkey meant you were no longer a suspect. He wanted to set a trap for any wolves who didn't have a good grasp of the situation. Oh shit, he's playing a trap card. If a wolf tried to pretend to be a monkey, now it is usually you would assume that a wolf has a very firm grasp of the rules, right? You would assume of anyone potentially, a wolf knows what they're fucking doing. So I appreciate the trap at the end of the attempt, but I'm wary to believe that an actual wolf would fall for something like that. I think the only way the monkey powers become interesting that I'm immediately thinking of is if two pairs each call themselves monkeys, because then you know one pair is obviously lying, and most likely one of the pairs would be the wolves lying and trying to protect themselves, and then you would have to kill one of the people claiming themselves to be monkeys. Then you would have to have the snake be able to reveal, or the crow reveal that you killed an actual human or not, and then depending on that result, then you can go further, right? So it's a risky then play for the wolves to attempt that, because then if you get picked off or wrong, then it's quite bad. So then you're gambling as a wolf then to immediately kill the crow and that power in that first night, because if you get rid of that, then you're totally fine, and that's going to be very difficult for them, and then they just have to blindly kill all of the people who claimed monkeys. Does that all make sense? Surely that all makes sense. Everyone's on the same page with me, right? We're all one brain. We're all sharing the same brain cells here on this channel. If a wolf tried to pretend to be a monkey, Yasunaga-kun and the other monkey would point it out, leading to the faker being hanged. Even if it didn't work, like you said, exposing the monkeys was a good way to get rid of two suspects. Everyone who knew how the monkey worked would understand this, but as things were, it wasn't unlikely that a wolf could fall for it. It was a simple, creative idea with no risks involved. And now that he'd come out as a monkey, he was confirmed to be human. That made me more relieved than anyone else here. This meant that he, the one who had a flawless victory as a wolf last loop, wouldn't be an enemy this time. I already knew that the Guardian assignments were completely different than last time, but it was still a nice thought. However, that idea was quickly flipped around. Yasu, don't go acting big on your own. Big. Monkeys can reveal themselves. How many of you all agree with that? The only ones who raised their hands were Chikamochi Kamoshida, Hironosuke Inosato, Chiemi Sarazawa, Hisako Mamiya, and Haru Makishima, who was kind of timid about it. Yasunaga-kun included, that was 6 people, a minority in the 15 here. Great. We're working with a bunch of dumbasses. Oh god. Bunch of smooth brains. Acting big when no one understands a thing, then blabbing on while you're making yourself look right. That's what wolves do. Everyone suddenly stared at Yasunaga-kun with pointed glares. Hold on, are you saying that Yasunaga's a wolf? He ain't wrong. You can't fake a monkey. He ain't a wolf. He's what he says he is. But don't go off without telling everyone how it is. The rest ain't as clever as you. Then let me explain it again. Yasunaga-kun then borrowed Mochi's help to thoroughly demonstrate how 2 groups of monkeys would work. They showed how easy it would be to find out that Mochi, who was playing the part of the wolf, was a faker. So yeah, if you play the monkey, it won't last long, so it's better just not. Liars get the rope. Yeah. Thanks, Mochi. I see. Now I understand. Are there any of you who still don't get it? This time, no one raised their hands. Can we remove the old man and little girl? I'm not sure they understand. No. Kanza-san shot her suggestion down, and since no one came to support her, she quickly gave up. Her worries were very reasonable. The feast, however, wasn't. Even if some people didn't understand their own roles, the wolves had to die, or there'd be no future for the humans. That was the feast of the Yomi Purge. If they had guardians, their powers might be wasted, and if they were wolves, they had to be killed. I was pretty sure that the people of Yasumisu, at least, were certain that that was how it would go.
みんな理解してどうするヤス。
Everyone gets it. What now, Yasu?
猿は名乗り出てください。
Other monkey, please name yourself. No one said anything, which meant that...
どうやらもう一人の猿は根本的に何も分かってい
Is
な
it
い
the
も
old
のら
man?
しい。
Apparently, the other monkey doesn't understand anything. That was a natural conclusion. However...
いいえ、違います。
No.
どうして名乗り出てくれないんですか、肝臓さん。
Why aren't you saying anything, Kanzo-san? What?
おやっさん、猿の加護あったの？
Maybe... Okay, so if it is Kanzo then... Is he just waiting to see if... Because if Kanzo knows, obviously, that he himself is a monkey... Maybe he's just taking the direct route of, I'm not going to say anything and I'm going to force him to point me out. Because then I can confirm he is the monkey as well with me. It's a direct way of Kanzo being ultimately 100% sure that Yasunaga is a monkey, right? Because if he just raised his hand and goes, I'm a monkey, then it's like, oh, okay. But no, I take back what I just said. Because if Kanzo truly is a monkey, he already knows Yasunaga is a monkey as well, because you know their identity. I wasn't thinking about it the other way around. Sorry for that. I'm dumb. So then there's got to be some reason, right? Oh man, you're a monkey?
そうか、そいつは安心だ。
Really? What a relief.
カンちゃんが人じゃったか。それはなんとも頼もしいね。
The only thing I can now immediately think is if he wanted to at some point try to convince people that he had a different guardian. Like I could see him just based on personality, him doing something weird like that. Like at some point in, let's say, the next round, him being like, I am this role and yada yada yada. I am the crow, I am the snake, I am the spider, whatever, I protected you or whatever. Like, maybe he had thoughts of maybe trying that, and obviously if you reveal yourself to be a monkey, it's not gonna work. But Kan-chan's human, how promising. They seemed genuinely relieved. You could tell by the sighs and whispers. It was true that it was good he wasn't a wolf. If he was and continued to take charge of the feast like he was, he could have probably killed everyone even more easily than Yasunaga-kun.
なぜ名乗り出なかったんですか。
Why didn't you name yourself? However, not everything about this was perfect. Yasunaga-kun had forced Kanzo-san to reveal his guardian against his will, which was probably his way of taking the lead. One of them knew how to use his guardian's power, the other didn't. Revealing that made Yasunaga-kun seem more reliable. However,
わしから見ればヤスがわしを名指しせねば信じられん。
if you ask me, I couldn't believe you until you pointed me out yourself.
そんなバカな。
That's just absurd.
勝手に動くな。
Watch what you're doing. Yasunaga-kun's first step went over the heads of most of those present, and Kanzo-san had used that against him. He had the makings of a leader. By scolding Yasunaga-kun for his hastiness, he made it clear that the chain of command was here. As a result, Kanzo-san's control of the situation was stronger than before. That also meant that Yasunaga-kun's plan to help me was negated, leaving me in the same danger as before. I had to act now.
すみません。いい加減喋っていいですか？
Excuse me, can I finally talk? I went and asked Kanzo-san. Talking out of turn here would just make me look like the bad guy.
僕はまだ死にたくありません。命が惜しいわけじゃない。死ぬよりまだ皆さんの役に立てると思うからです。
I don't want to die yet. It's not like my life's precious to me. I just think I can be more useful to you alive than dead.
牧島さん、朝僕におっしゃいましたよね。加護は腹に出るって。この説明、みんな知ってるんですかね？
Makishima-san, this morning you told me that the guardians appear on the stomach. Does everyone else know this? I watched everyone's reactions. They just made a little bit of noise.
言うてなかったね。加護の印は体に出るって言われてるのよ。
I forgot to say it. It said that the guardian marks appear on the body.
安水のもんなら 今日の朝に体を見たとは思うがね。もし印をもらったら、それは人に見せたらいかん。
I think everyone from Yasumisu looked at themselves this morning. If you found a mark, you can't show it to anyone.
隠し持たなきゃいけないんですか？
We have to hide it?
いいや、消してしもうていいのよ。
No, you can wash it off.
なるほど。外部者である久子さんや芽子ちゃんには伝わってない可能性があるわけですね。
I see. So outsiders like Hisako-san and Meiko-chan might have not known about this.
メイコには言って聞かせてありますので、確認させてます。
I told Meiko about it. No need to worry.
OK です。じゃあ、間宮さんは？
Okay then. What about you, Mamiya-san?
見てないわ。何なのそれ？
I didn't look. First I've heard about this.
つまり間宮さんは自分で気づいていない過護者である可能性がある。ちなみに宴は一旦中断できませんか？
So it's possible that Mamiya-san has a guardian but just doesn't know it. By the way, can we pause the feast?
くくる門を決めるまでは出られん。
We ain't leaving until we decide who to hang.
なるほど。では間宮さんは明日の宴までに確認をする。それまではおそらくくくるべきではない。そうなりますか？
I see. So Mamiya-san will have to check if she has a guardian before tomorrow's feast and should be left alive until then, right?
そして僕がカゴ持ちであればやはりくくれないが、そうでなければくくろう。そう思って朝僕に聞きましたね。
And if I had a guardian, you couldn't hang me. But if I didn't, you could. That's why you asked me that question this morning, right?
腹見たか？
Saw your stomach.
は？
Huh?
使いの加護は腹に出る。
The guardian's show on the stomach.
そしてどうやら僕に加護がなさそうなことを確信し、くくることを持ちかけた。そうですね。
And since you apparently concluded that I didn't have a guardian, you decided to hang me, right? Surprisingly, Kanzo-san grinned.
ようしたと頭が回るな、兄ちゃん。
You got a good head and tongue, I see.
肝臓じいちゃん、ひどすぎない？
Kanzo-ji-chan, you're being too cruel.
ちえみちゃん、まあいいよ。立場上そうなるのが自然なのは理解した。
It's fine, Chami-chan. I understand my position and knew this was how it would go.
僕は人の一員として生き残るために嘘をつこうとは思いませんが、あと一日猶予が欲しい。
As a human, I don't plan to lie to survive, but I want just one more day.
その一日を使って人を勝利させるためできることを考え、情報を用意したい。
I'll use it to think of ways to help the humans win and find useful information.
そして明日情報を皆さんに伝える。それでダメなら僕をくくってくれて結構です。
I'll present it to you tomorrow. If it's no good, you can hang me then. I didn't mention that I had a guardian or whether the info I would present was based around guardian powers or simple strategy. I was weasel wording like mad. Weasel wording. However, it was important to express some sort of self-sacrificial spirit in the situation. Haruaki-san. The effect was the same as when Chiemi did it. Not everyone here agreed that someone should die for the others, but this was a situation where everyone's lives were in danger, and here I was showing acceptance of my position. Everyone here could tell it wasn't something a wolf would do. The wolves were more likely to hide among the silent ones, not the ones who told the others to kill them.
皆さんがそれに同意するならば、
If everyone agrees with his words,
くくる者は猿である僕と肝臓さん、久石さん、それに間宮さんを除いた11人から選ぶことになります。
the one we hang should be anyone besides the monkeys, Kanzo-san and I, Fusaishi-san, or Mamiya-san. Oh no, they're gonna pick the old man again, aren't they? No one objected.
なら、そうせ。
Do that then. I was in for a hell of a time on tomorrow's feast. However, the day I'd bought should have been enough to open up a path for me.
じゃあ誰にすんだよ。長者でいいじゃねえか。もう。
Who do we go for then? Why not just take out the village heads?
義継、お前ちょっと黙ってろ。
Yoshisugu, shut up.
匠兄だってよ。気に入らねえだろうがよ。
Takumini, you don't like them either, do you?
気に入らねえでくくってたら強者と同じだっつってんだバカ野郎
If you hang someone because you don't like them, you're the same as them. Damn it. Yoshisuga-kun complained a bit, but then fell silent. He probably understood his point.
提案があるのだがね
I have a suggestion.
なんじゃ野里
Say it, Nosato.
このままでは拉致が開きますまい多数決によって一人選ぶしかないのではありませんかなマキシマのご老人
This isn't getting us anywhere. We should choose someone by popular vote. Don't you agree, Sir Makishima?
あ冗談じゃねえそんないい加減な方法で選べるか
Huh? What the hell? That's insane. I ain't choosing like that.
いい加減ではない結局のところ多数決でなくこれだけの人間の意見をまとめる方法があるのかね
It's not insane. Do you have any other way to get the consensus of so many people?
ちゃんと話し合って全員一致で決めるべきだろうが
We can talk it out and decide then.
匠兄ちゃん気持ちはわかるけど
Takumi-chan, I understand how you feel, but
でもそんな多数決で簡単に人を殺してしまうなんて
But can we really kill by popular vote?
兄ちゃんどう思うの
Nii-chan, what do you think?
僕も野里さんに賛成です
I agree with Nosato-san.
やすくんもかよ
You too?
それで
That works. Everyone was stunned that they'd accepted Kyonosuke Kishi's proposal.
植松の各問あるか
Uematsu, got something to write on?
あります確か
I'm sure we do. But eventually, everyone agreed to it. They must have understood that this was how it had to go. Oh man. Alright, we'll call it there then for the night. I don't want to get too deep into this, but I liked the couple hours we read here. And we'll hold off on what the vote is for. So the cliffhanger here is who gets the boot via popular vote. Straight up Survivor style. Who gets their torch snuffed. And Jeff Probst tells them that the tribe has spoken. Like I said, you know, my head wants to say that it's the old man who cries wolf again because of the same logic from the last loop. Like, seemingly would be the least amount of help. But it seems like that'd be too easy of a thing to happen again, right? Also, different than the first loop. In the first loop, they didn't vote for someone to hang, right? Wasn't that the whole thing? They both ultimately came to the conclusion that it was like, oh, we won't hang anyone because we don't know anything. Like they wanted to give it one night of research from the snake, because the snake revealed themselves so quickly. And then was like, I will. It was the big guy. And he's like, well, I'll take a turn in research, and then maybe I pick out the wolf, and we'll be great, and then we can just hang them, right? But you also have to think then, okay, you start, obviously the roles switched around. Most likely, what are the odds that the big guy gets the same thing, the same role as a snake, Moro? But like, you also have to think that his role changed because wouldn't he have the same mentality and come out as himself as the wolf if he had gotten it again? So you can and you can maybe make that argument for any role, right? So you would probably make the argument that, and I don't know if our main character knows this, how he kind of knows that he blurted out the role, right? But if he puts two and two together, he might be able to be like, all right, well, his mentality is that I learned in the first loop is he just loved to blurt out that he just felt the need to blurt out his role at the very beginning. He did not blurt out that he had a role here. The only difference here would probably be that he doesn't have a role, right? I wonder if the game will bring that up, but I don't, again, that would be at least my thinking is like, oh, we have a little bit of information to go off of from the first loop. So there's that, right? So that he might just be a regular human or could be a wolf. Because you're not going to blurt out you're a wolf, obviously, right? So much so that it makes me think that he is a wolf. That's how much the pendulum's swinging in my mind. I'm like, no, he just has to be a wolf. This go around. All right, so we'll end there. We'll see who the vote's for next time. I'd assume we'll see who gets the boot and the vote next time we stream this, which will probably be at least for a bit sometime this weekend. As I said, tomorrow most likely will be Yakuza. I might even try to squeeze in like an hour or under a little bit of some Unbeatable playing, but tomorrow should be Yakuza, and then we'll see what we do kind of like Friday. But we'll probably read more of this weekend. Keep plugging along. So thanks as always for watching. Thanks for reading along with me. I'm hoping you're enjoying as much as I am. I hope you're having a great week so far. Only Tuesday, but so far so good. 3 days left till the weekend. I hope you have a nice rest of your night. Take it easy. Stay safe. Stay well. Do good. Be good. I'll be back tomorrow night.